Hi, this is Katy Sophia. Welcome to a new week in the cosmic energies for the week beginning 8th of July. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel for regular cosmic updates. So we're beginning the week with a waxing moon. We're in the new crescent moon phase. The moon is waxing after the new moon in Cancer on early Saturday morning. Now, this was a very powerful new moon. It was deeply sensitive and psychic, and you may find that it brought up some very deep emotions for you, which may still be swirling around, possibly, because this new moon also coincided with the Sun-Sirius conjunction, which means we've entered the Sirius Gateway. Now, every year in July, our sun aligns with the star Sirius, which is actually the oversoul of our sun. It's like the higher self of our sun. And every year in July, they align, and then Sirius begins to rise before the sun throughout late July, August, across the different latitudes. And this time was a very sacred time. It was revered in ancient Egypt, in the Maya lands, and it was related to a new cycle of the sun and the renewed fertility of the land. So when our sun aligns with Sirius, we are able to connect to new light codes and increased frequencies that are streaming through our sun, and we can connect with these directly. So having this influx of light codes and Sirian energy on the new moon in Cancer was extremely intense, so you may still be feeling the effects of that. It's very much about soul origins, so you may have received insights into your soul origins, soul family. Old soul connections may be coming in, and this is going to continue throughout this week. This week is all about Venus and the shadow. So, with the Sirius Gateway and the new moon, also last week we had Pluto retrograde opposing Mercury. So this really brought out stuff from the deep psyche, long buried thoughts, psychological issues that need healing may have come up to light. And now what we're going to have this week is Pluto retrograde is moving into opposition with Venus. So this week is all about Venus and the shadow, which is very much about relationships. So don't be surprised if at this point you have been experiencing a lot of unexplained emotions, maybe emotions that you didn't even know you had have been coming up. Your focus could be on past relationships, current relationships. Maybe if you're in separation from your beloved, they will keep coming into your mind, and you may experience like a purging and a release of emotions. There may be sadness coming up, there may be grief, there may be anger and frustration, anything that comes out of the deep psyche that you've buried. Now, this isn't necessarily the easiest thing to go through, but everything needs to come out in order for thorough healing to occur. And this is what this time is all about. So this week we have Pluto retrograde opposing Venus. Now, what this means for relationships. If you're currently in a relationship, you may be experiencing blocks. You may be experiencing some barriers to intimacy, to unity and oneness. You may be feeling like you have insurmountable obstacles, or you may just be seeing that, some differences, some things that you really wish you could get over. You may be thinking, yeah, it's all them, you know, they need to do this, they need to heal that. The masculine really needs to heal his shit, you know, I mean, let's face it, he does, right? But we always need to bring the focus back to ourselves and what does that mean for us? And also with past relationships, there may be elements of regret, things you weren't able to heal, things you weren't able to come together as one within. So it's really putting the spotlight on what are these blocks and obstacles within relationships. What is the shadow that's presenting itself to you? And yes, it's easy to look at the other person and yeah, you may be seeing 100% clearly what they need to heal and where they're coming from, because there's amazing vision available to us at this time. But what does that mean for you? So this is really a time to meditate on, it's a great time to meditate on your past relationship history. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that yourself, it may be a good time to get some guidance from a professional or from a healer to help you gently do some healing and releasing of past relationships, because it's all of your patterns that you've gone through in your life, the karmic relationships that have come in from past lives, the soulmates, soul connections, all of this stuff is feeding into the ways that your partner may be treating you, or maybe your ex-partner has treated you because they were somehow playing out that role for you so that you could confront what you need to heal within yourself. This is a very subtle thing. It's not about blame or projection. It's simply about looking at the dance that you dance together and what you're reflecting back at each other and what you each need to heal. And if the person you're with needs so much healing and you believe they have so much trauma that everything is their fault, well, really, you need to look at what is it that drew you to them. Why were you in that relationship for the time that you were? What were you gaining from that on a soul level? What were they showing you? Or what were they asking you to do? Maybe they were asking you to stand up for yourself and be empowered and draw your boundaries and say, no, this is what I will and won't accept. Maybe they were giving you a soul gift to be stronger and have clearer boundaries. So these are all possible lessons that could be arising in your consciousness this week. It's a week also of soul connections coming in. It could be that you experience a type of fated love. Venus, Pluto can be fated love, karmic relationships, karmic soulmates. And if someone comes in that seems very compelling and very attracting, it might not necessarily be for the highest good of your soul, because this could be a deeply karmic soul connection that is simply reflecting to you something very deep that you need to heal and release. So this may not be a long-term thing. So be discerning when you're looking at the souls that may be coming in for you. So if you are currently in separation with your beloved, with your twin flame, your twin soul, if you've met them, this is a very profound and intense period of healing, deep healing and separation, and complete separation has to occur to release all the attachments, all the unhealthy attachments, so that each can find complete healing within themselves as a sovereign being composed of masculine and feminine energies. And if you truly are twin souls and you truly have a destiny together, then you will naturally gravitate back towards each other in the eternal dance of souls. So there's nothing to worry about and nothing to fear. If you're in separation and you're afraid that they may never come back, you're afraid of the outcome, you have expectations, you have anxiety, just let it all go. This is a week for complete release, healing the deep shadow, and we can only do that on our own. So release all attachments, all expectations to the outcome, and just let it all go. And on Wednesday, the 10th of July, Venus is rising as the evening star. She's making her reappearance as the evening star that was revered by the ancients. Now, Venus has been in the underworld since April the 28th, when she disappeared from view. So if you think back to that time and what's been happening for you since the 28th of April until now, Venus has been in the underworld. So look at what's been going on in your relationships. You may have felt like you're in a kind of limbo. You may have felt like you're in a bardo state. You may have felt like you wanted to make progress and move forward, but somehow there was no forwards movement, or things were stuck. That's because things weren't meant to be moving forward. It's been a deeply introspective and reflective time, and a time of healing of the divine feminine. And now with Venus rising as the evening star, she is beginning her ascent as the Leo goddess. Now this is a very special and powerful time in the cycle of Venus. So one synodic cycle of Venus takes 19 months, and Venus creates a complete circuit, a complete orbit of the 5-pointed star within an 8-year cycle. So in this current cycle, the cycle began in the sign of Leo, so we call it the Leo goddess, the cycle of Venus in Leo. And Venus went through the descent of Inanna from last August through to April and around the time of the solar eclipse. So from August till April, we were letting go, we were releasing everything that stands in the way of our inner light, because the Leo goddess is the solar light. The goddess is Sekhmet, is the solar goddess, the solar light, the magnetic, radiant, divine feminine. And so you may have lost things in this cycle, you may have let go, things may have been taken away from you, it may have been very painful, because the solar fire is unforgiving. It can be very harsh in burning away all that's no longer needed. But now Venus will be rising as the evening star and beginning her ascent through the chakra gates for the next 8 months until March 2025. So with each chakra gate she ascends through, she'll be reclaiming her gifts and her power as the Queen of Heaven, the goddess Inanna, the Queen of Heaven. So as women and as men, as sovereign beings, we are now about to begin the ascent of Inanna, which is extremely positive. It's about taking all our experiences, all our wisdom, all our pain, and transforming it deep within to create something incredibly powerful and incredibly positive. And we will be reclaiming, rebuilding as sovereign beings, and we will be so much stronger than before. So there's a lot of good to look forward to in this cycle, and a lot of positive movement in relationships. And it's all about connecting to the heart, connecting to the solar light within, and being the sovereign being that you are. So there's a lot of positive movement happening this week, even if you may not feel like it right now. We also have Mars applying to a conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. So there's a few fireworks going on for the divine masculine, and the masculine energy is getting some added drive, it's like an explosive energy in the earth element. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's like the masculine element is receiving the awakening codes as well. So a lot of movement and change is happening and healing for the feminine and masculine. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Wishing you a wonderful week and a blessed week.